I'm Clyde Lewis. Welcome to Channel Weird. And gosh, the atmospheric river has hit Portland, and so it was like a lot of people with power outages and all kinds of crazy stuff. But there's one person that came into the studio today, brave the wet, brave the cold, the oldest drag queen in the country.
Working.
There
are a lot of drags around.
Yeah.
Old.
You're the oldest working drag queen. Darcelle.
Hello.
Yay.
Hi. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome to you.
I
haven't talked to you in 20 years.
I know. And you haven't changed a bit. Now
Neither
it's
of
your
you.
turn. Thank you.
Well, neither of you. Yeah, I mean, you just don't age.
Well, I work and I'm happy with what I do.
Right.
And I have a lovely family and I'm involved in lovely friends, and it keeps you going.
See, people don't know this, but you are, I guess you would be the mother queen of weird in Portland.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can't talk about weirdness without including you.
That's true.
Because you've been a staple in this town with Darcelle's. How long has Darcelle's Club been around?
54 years.
54 years. And you started in theater, didn't you?
Yeah, local theater. Yes.
Okay. And when did you start doing drag?
And I was 37 years old when I bought the tavern, and we had my gay friends would not come across Burnside because then it was Skid Row.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hired a wonderful bartender, a lesbian bartender who was a dear friend, Papa Scott, and she brought all her friends, and they kept me alive for 3 years.
Wow.
And so in order to settle them down, because they weren't like our lesbians now, if you looked to their girlfriend, you got a pitcher thrown at you. We were beer and wine.
Right.
So I had to change all the pitchers into plastic.
Right.
And tuna fish cans for ashtrays. They didn't make a mark. So Roxy and I and Tina Sandella put a 4x8 banquet table in the corner of the room and a home stereo. And our only lighting was a slide projector. I don't think you even know what that means.
I do.
You do.
Yeah. See, I'm 57, so yeah.
You probably caught up.
Yeah, I'm not 91. You're 91, right?
91.
You're 91 years old.
And we didn't have an operator. We didn't have any money to pay the operator. So anybody that was having a little good time in the club, in the bar, in the beer tavern, stood up and took the light on. I said, just shine it on us.
Mm-hmm.
And I neglected to tell them that if you tip it, the light burns out.
Oh, my gosh.
Well,
so,
halfway through the show,
the light burned out.
We're in the dark.
Oh, my gosh. So,
but that was my beginning.
Yeah. Darcelle's a wonderful club. It's like Las Vegas, burlesque, just to describe it. Cabaret, all of it. So do many of the drag queens that go through Darcelle's, do they tour? Is it like some sort of a I guess you could say a check mark or a bucket list to come play at your club?
Well, they if they're in town, they want to, and they do. We have guests.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. My people pretty much are here, living here, and happy to be working where they are.
Wow.
In a profession they love.
Right. I think that one of the things that is most interesting, and I know that my wife watches Drag Race, is that, drag queens now we see them on television, we see them everywhere. And I think RuPaul had a lot to do with it. Have you ever had some sort of a appearance on Drag Race?
Yes, I was featured. I wasn't there, so it was like my publicity pictures on the wall in the dressing room and around the room, and they talked about Darcelle for a while, and they were very kind because sometimes drag queens can get a little bitchy,
Yeah.
They were very nice.
Well, tucked in, they get really bitchy. It's not called. It's called Untucked. I goofed.
Untucked.
It's called Untucked.
You can drag queens now in Portland. You can't even walk down the street, throw a cat without hitting a drag queen.
I know.
They're everywhere, which is wonderful.
Well, it's like when I went to your club, I told a friend of mine, I said, all the good looking women were guys. And it really bothered me a little bit because I thought, ooh, it's scary.
Well, the fun thing is that there was a time when I started in '67, we didn't walk on the street and drag.
No,
we not that we. Well, you never know what could have happened.
I ran into Poison Waters once. I mean, she was walking down the street one time, and I saw her.
That wasn't until '67.
No, it wasn't '67.
No.
How long has Poison worked with you?
She's worked with me About 15 years.
Wow. Yeah, because I remember she showed up at an interview. She probably was with you, and we did the interview back during the Liz Wild show.
Mhm.
And you showed up, and I think Poison was there too. And I had a chance to meet
Yes.
both of you, and it was really a good experience. And then I went to your party afterwards, and it was fun. And so, yeah, so it's too bad though that we haven't, talked.
Did you take your wife to the party with you?
I wasn't with anybody at the time.
Oh,
I
okay.
was still here. I just got here. I swear I've been like 5 years.
Testing the waters.
Yeah, pretty much. I was 5 years here, and everybody told me that first thing I did when I came to Portland was I went to the Elvis Museum,
The where?
the Street Elvis Museum.
Oh, yes.
I went there,
Yes.
and then I met Diablos Rex, and I realized that I was in a place where some of the weirdest people live.
I know.
And then I was introduced to you, and I'm going, God, I'm just meeting everybody. And I went to your club, and it was a great time. I'm thinking, I told all my friends, I said, you wouldn't believe, because I'm from Utah. I'd say to all my friends in Utah, I'd say, you wouldn't believe what I do here in Portland and who I've met and who I've had a chance to talk to. And you are in the Guinness Book World Records, are you
Yes.
not?
As the oldest performing drag queen in the world.
Right.
I'm 91.
91.
And I had the pleasure of going to UK and meeting their oldest performing drag queen,
Oh.
Mitzi, and we had a wonderful time. I went in Brighton,
Mhm.
and we were in London, and it just happened that we were there when they were filming her, and they invited us over, and so I took drag, and we met for tea first, and then got ready, and we had a little show in the lobby of a hotel,
Right.
and I did Rhinestone Cowboy.
I think I've seen you perform Rhinestone Cowboy.
Yes.
And I've also seen that cowboy hat when you weren't Darcelle, when you're not Darcelle,
Yes.
when you're Walt.
Well, yeah.
You look great both ways. So
Oh,
you could play a sheriff. I always told people, I said,
I
Walt looks like a
I
sheriff.
already said yes, I would be here.
Yeah, I just I just think that it's amazing that you have is dressing in drag keeping you young, do you think?
I think doing what you do for a living or in your personal life, if you're happy, it'll keep you alive. I don't think necessarily drag, but I think necessarily find what you're happy with doing and do it.
I've always said it's always nice to be paid for being you, right? And you're being paid for being you.
That's right.
And it's like, and it's so unique and so wonderful that you're here in Portland, because like I said, it's like everything gathers around. And you were talking about the Unipiper with me before we went on. We have the Unipiper, we have the Mad Martian, I had a guy that was a Slee Stack on my show from Land of the Lost last week. And then of course I said to my producer, I said, Channel Weird would not be weird or Channel Weird without Darcelle. And I said, if I can get Darcelle, that would be amazing. So I feel like I've basically peaked.
So you called.
Yes, we called, and you came, and that's good.
Thank you.
But so what do you think is the future? What do you think your legacy is going to be as you get older? Do you ever think about what your legacy is and what you're leaving behind, or what you've done and what impact you've had?
I certainly created a cabaret that will go on forever. There's no reason why it can't. If we don't have a show, we're not open. So you see, we don't have a sit-down bar or a hangout bar.
Right.
We're there to see the show.
Right.
And the cabaret will go on forever, hopefully.
How did COVID impact you?
Oh, it was wonderful. We were closed for 5 months.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, on and off for 5 months. It was horrible. And all of my staff, including all the showgirls and the out front staff, hung around, got on unemployment or didn't, and waited till we could open again.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't lose one person. That didn't happen in a lot of businesses.
Right. Well, this is support, I'm sure. And I'm sure the way you treat people, because, you have such a great reputation for being a great human being. I know you always hear good things about you. And of course, we see you all the time. And I saw you in a video once singing Happy, that song Happy. I saw you in a video. You're still, like I say, you wouldn't guess that you're 91 years old. And that's why I say it must keep you young, because It's
It does. Yeah. Do what you want to do. Be happy with who you are, and do what you love. And I love performing.
what when you were doing theater, local theater, what were some of your favorite plays and musicals
I
and things that
remember
you?
Mama,
Oh yes.
and Sign in Bernstein's Window was a political play,
Hmm.
and it was it was wonderful. I worked under great local directors. Jerry Leaf uh, comes to mind. He's the first one that said, "I want to try you out for a play,"
Hmm.
and Mark Allen and all the local, and for Lorraine Fries at the Firehouse Theater, worked with her for a long, long time. In the meantime, I had other businesses. I
Right.
didn't just walk into the bar business.
What were
I
your businesses before?
I opened up Portland's first coffee house
Oh wow.
in the 50s, early 60s. I had the only espresso machine north of San Francisco, and we had jazz and we had folk music. Joan Baez sings "One More Time, I'm Going to Scream," and we and Urban Renewal took that. Then I opened up an after hours jazz place where all the musicians visiting for great entertainers,
Hmm.
because then there was live entertainment in all the clubs because we didn't have TV.
Hmm. I always think back, and I always say to myself, I wish at times that I was born a lot earlier because I could have been involved with starting things that are new. I'm always the type of guy that wants to do something that's beyond what is the norm. And I always thought that back then, everything was from scratch, everything was original. And now we're getting older, and I'm getting older. I'm thinking, well, everything has been done. What can I do that's better? What can I do that's more
Everything
interesting?
hasn't all been done yet.
You don't
There's
think
still
so?
no. There's many things. I don't, if I knew all, could give you a list, I'd be starting on it.
Right.
And I had a ice cream parlor. My kids loved the ice cream parlor,
Right.
and I then I opened the tavern,
Are-
and Old Town Flowers was mine.
oh
I
yeah.
started it.
Right. Have you ever, like, even though you're getting older, do you still have ambition to go beyond Darcelle's or do some other things, invest in other things?
No, it takes all my energy to beat Darcelle now. Imagine. I
Yeah.
had time before, but no.
You don't have time now.
Well,
You're in demand.
yeah, and so many wonderful things have happened in the last couple of years that I don't have to walk on. They help me.
They help you walk on.
Yeah, they
Well,
hold my hand.
well, of course. I mean, but I just, like I say, it's like you're ageless because, like, it was 20 years since I've talked with you, and it's still the same. I remember how you were then as you are now, and it's still wonderful. It's
Thank you.
still good that you still
I hope
radiate
so.
that kind of energy at
I
your
hope
age.
so.
What is the secret to being young at being old? That's the question. What's the secret of remaining young even though you're older? Is that
I don't dwell on being older.
You don't?
No, not at all.
See, that's the good thing.
I don't even. I've heard so many people. Oh, I'm old, and I can't come in to see your show because I'm just too old. I said, get off the damn couch and come and see us. And because you can convince yourself of everything, and convincing yourself that you're old and can't do.
Right.
Well,
it's always like, I had someone once tell me he was in his 90s, and he said the bad thing about being in your 90s is you still have a brain of a 17-year-old. And sometimes your body tells you you're not 17 anymore.
Let's see. That's kind of right. You have.
I mean, obviously, you still have a mind of a young person because you're still looking good as a drag queen at 91.
What's happening? Well, I always think that I still have the mind thinking about the fun word, like sex.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't have the body to do it.
No.
So
we were just talking earlier about when I saw you as Walt. You were wearing that big belt buckle, and you said something about a belt buckle being a tombstone. What we won't say, but still, I mean,
yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that there are other ways.
Someday they said, Darcelle, you'll never need a facelift, but a butt tuck couldn't hurt.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I say, if you can still do it, do it
every night.
What do you?
Two shows.
So what? Are you just like the host? You host it?
I do, but I do about 3 songs, and then I do Rhinestone Cowboy.
Mm-hmm. The Rhinestone Cowboy.
And close the show.
Right. And you. What's the art of lip syncing? Because I know a lot of drag queens do that really well.
I sing live.
Oh, you sing live? I thought you lip synced or something.
I did, but
there are a lot of them that do, and they do a lot of great acting.
We all do.
Because drag queens are the best lip syncers. I always see them lip sync, and it's like, wow, it's almost as if they.
You know why? Because the really good performers in our business that lip sync realize what the words mean, know the song, know the meaning behind it, have emotion for what is going on, having fun with it if it's fun, having tears if it's an emotional thing. Now that's the key to being a good mimer. I
always enjoy drag queens that look like celebrities, that make up look like celebrities, like either Cher or Barbara Streisand.
That's perfect, but you have to be perfect. We've had a couple of Liza Minnelli's
always
and Chers, but if you're not perfect at it, don't try it.
Right, it looks bad.
Yeah, it looks bad.
Well, Darcelle is here, the queen, definitely the queen of all weird in Portland, and we're glad to have her here. Thank you so much. We'll be back with more. Keep it here on Channel Weird.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. On the phone with me is Ronnie from GetTheTea.com. Hey, Ronnie, it is the tea that makes you go, I know this because I use it. My favorite is pomegranate. What kind of flavors are there to choose from with this wonderful tea?
You can do pomegranate. You can do just the straight, which is real good. And also we have a mint, a peppermint. People really love that one too. And we have a couple new flavors on the way, which I will not discuss yet, but they're coming.
A lot of people don't know that peppermint is a very, very good supplement to keep the stomach happy. It relaxes the intestines, and once again, it makes you feel better because it allows them to move around and get that stuff out of you, that bad stuff out of you.
Absolutely. This is a digest mover. So people have a hard time digesting stuff, or you get something stuck, or maybe you're a real heavy meat eater. The tea is wonderful. That's why it's tagline, the tea that makes you go.
If I want my life to change and get the tea, where do I go to get it?
GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea, TEA.com.
Fantastic. Hey guys, it's Clyde Lewis. Have you ever wanted Ground Zero merchandise but didn't know where to go? Well, I want to let you know that we now have our own online store with such items as t-shirts, hoodies, decals, tote bags, and other exclusive specialty apparel. There's a secure and easy-to-use shopping cart for your purchases. Coming soon will be signed posters and coffee mugs available as we are constantly adding new items. So shop today at the official Ground Zero store by going to groundzeromerch.com. That's groundzeromerch.com. It's all over the news, food shortages and scarcity in the supply chain, and the reality is nobody truly knows what might happen in the near future. Hi, I'm Clyde Lewis, and I want to let you know that it's a good idea to plan ahead so you aren't caught off guard. Nothing's more important than having enough food to eat, and we're here to help. We highly recommend My Patriot Supply, America's leading emergency preparedness company. They provide long-term emergency food that lasts up to 25 years in storage. When grocery stores run empty or disasters strike, their foods will be there when you need them most. Act now and secure at least a 4-week emergency food kit full of tasty meals that provide 2,000 calories a day. They have dozens of emergency food storage kits to choose from, along with a variety of other survival products. If the government tells you not to go out, you can have the peace of mind that comes from being prepared. After you order from My Patriot Supply, your food will arrive discreetly at your doorstep. Prepare today, because time is short. Go to preparewithgroundzero.com. That's preparewithgroundzero.com. It's a well-known fact that controversial talk show hosts have recently been censored and even banned on the internet by corporate and political interests. Hey guys, it's Clyde Lewis from Ground Zero. And in order to counter the suppression of information, we've decided to create our own private digital playground called Aftermath. It's an exclusive online multimedia library featuring a social media platform, videos, audio clips, archive shows, research groups, documents, and a news aggregator. In addition, we're hosting other Ground Zero friendly podcasts like Conspirafact with Wes and Bill, Into the Microcosm with Jimmy Jean, Pair Awareness with Mr. Gates and Isaac Weishaupt, Opposing Perspective with James Ponder, The Infinite Fringe with Billy Ray Valentine, and several more shows. Mobile apps for Android and Apple are available too. The monthly subscription for Aftermath is only $10 a month. And don't forget to check out the yearly specials, including the Friends and Family Pass with one main account and 3 sub-accounts. Sign up now by going to aftermath.media. Again, that's aftermath.media. It's Channel Weird, in case you're wondering.
Yes, it is.
And we have the queen mother of all drag queens. You mind being called that? Really? I mean, you should be called the queen mother.
As long as you remember to spell the name right.
Right.
I don't care what you say.
Because you are really the queen mother, in a way.
Well, I kind of started a lot of stuff.
Right, you did. Yeah. And, okay, so what, and I've been feeling that maybe this is the case, but what do you think has changed over time with regard to drag? Because I know that, there's the fun with it, because it's kind of like, I think you were the one that told me it was kind of like clowning around and having fun. And then there's the political side. What is your take on that?
Let me tell you, I think that drag was more fun when there was more mystery behind it.
Right.
When people came in, what's going to happen?
Right.
Now they don't know what's going to happen, and it's fine. But I mean, it was fun then because you could do almost anything you want to do and turn them crazy, make them crazy. What was the question?
Well, basically, when you started drag, how many years ago was that? You said 50 years ago?
54.
54 years ago, you started drag. And, and I'm sure back then it was still, like you said, there was a mystery to it. And that's one of the things that I always thought was interesting about drag, was that it was a mystery. You couldn't tell, okay? You can't tell the guys from the girls. And now, though, it seems that it's gone mainstream with RuPaul's Drag Race. But a lot of the time, I get this feeling that politics get in the way of drag, which is bothering me because it takes away the fun. What are your thoughts on that?
I try to stay completely away from politics when I'm on stage. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things you could say that are funny and lots of things that are serious, but I stay away from them because people don't come in to debate; they come in to enjoy the show.
Right?
They don't come in to hear any of my troubles or the trouble with the city of Portland.
Right.
They want to have just forget their problems and enjoy the show.
Well, that is. I mean, it's like you said. If anybody has been to Darcelle's, it's an escape. I think it's one of the reasons why you still are in business, because I remember when I went there, I had so much fun that it was just, the attitude was great. I mean, gay, straight, or whatever, you were all in this together, and it just was a good feeling. It was almost like you're with family.
The doors were locked, so you can't.
No, you can't get out. The doors are locked. You can't get away, even if you're scared. But and that's the thing, is that I just get so sometimes when I even approach the subject, because I've done shows before, Ground Zero about this. And some people just take so much offense because they're worried for some reason. They have so much fear, and it sometimes gets turned into a political issue. But then I tell people, I say, well, I have a friend of mine who's a neighbor who is gay and sometimes dresses up as drag. He looks like Rebel Wilson when he dresses up as drag. And I said, but he's a conservative. He's conservative, and he was a pro-Trump guy. I'm going, wow.
I don't know how.
Yeah, well, that happens. I remember I was at a conspiracy convention, right? And these two guys came up to me. I was in San Francisco. These two guys came up to me, and obviously they were partners. And the guy said to me, he says, "So where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Portland, Oregon." He goes, "Oh." He gets away from me. I go, "What's wrong?" And he says, "Well, you guys are just too liberal." And I go, "You should be liberal too, right? Because he says, "Yeah, but we're not that liberal."
It's amazing.
I know. And I think maybe, that's the thing we need to learn from, is the idea that we can either be one way too much or one way the other much. And what equals it out is the ability to come into a place where you feel welcome, loved, and warm. And I think that you've accomplished that in a lot of respects, regardless of politics.
What gay people have been through for 200 years or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How can they be conservative? Can't they try to relax and enjoy what they now have?
Well, I don't see how anybody can be extremist, because that's
Oh,
one of the
yeah,
things. I mean,
extreme.
being whatever you are, whatever you think, being who you are. I mean, that's what you've exemplified in the 91 years you've been on this
Right,
earth.
right.
Okay, you've exemplified the idea that being different is not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
And especially to the point of where you are. I mean, you've gone from theater to then you started the drag, and then you had all these businesses that you were doing, and then you brought Darcelle's into the mix. How long has Darcelle's been in business?
We have been 54 years.
So you've been here 54 years, and
Yes.
every time, consistently for 54 years, you have brought this cabaret or whatever it is, this experience to Portland, and it's a well-renowned experience. But like I said, when I went to Darcelle's, I've only been once. When I went to Darcelle's, it was such an experience and such a warm and welcoming experience that it was almost like I was among family. Is that something you strive for when you do your shows?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Welcome everyone. Now, for years, women would come in with their bachelorette parties or the Canesta Club,
Mm-hmm.
and then they say, "Oh, I'm going to bring my husband in."
Mm-hmm.
So they bring their husband, and they're dragging the toes in the sand.
The husbands are?
They don't want to be there
Because they feel uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, they don't.
I mean, if you catch a guy staring at some hot drag queen, it's like
drags is gonna, or they get too excited, or if they touch me.
What does that say? Because it's like, is it the image? Do you think? Is it like, because I know that
but it doesn't last long at our place.
No,
it doesn't last long. They drag them in. By the time that they're halfway through the show, they're applauding louder than anybody else.
Right.
So they realize that we're not trying to promote anything.
Mm-hmm.
We're not promoting queer. We're not promoting drag. We're not talking about a candidate for mayor or governor or whatever.
Mm-hmm. But you could easily be governor of the state, and I think everybody would be.
It's too late now. I told him I could. I do have pearls to wear, and and I'd have a different dress.
I have the wrong wardrobe to be governor of the state.
No, I could have a different dress every day.
You would?
Yes.
How's your closet these days? It's full, isn't it?
It's full.
Wow. How much you got in there?
Maybe 1,500 things.
You're kidding me.
Including production.
How much money have you invested in Darcelle?
Oh.
You can't count it, right?
I don't. Some of these things,
I mean, look at this stuff you're wearing. That's costume jewelry, obviously, right?
Yeah, but you wouldn't know it when you bought it.
No, not at all.
No, when you bought it.
It's like
this little set right here.
It's like you're all covered in ice. You're like an ice cream.
Yeah. Well, these are $300. The necklace is $1,500.
Really?
With earrings.
So it takes a lot to be Darcelle. A lot of money.
Well, yeah, that's what I tell them. They said,
no dollar store. You're not a dollar store drag queen by any means.
No, they said that people ask me what we should call you, because sometimes I'm out. I don't live in drag.
No, you don't. Like I said, I've seen waltz.
So I say, just call me Darcelle. That's the name of my book, by the way.
Oh, okay.
On Amazon. Mm-hmm.
You have a book on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's just called Darcelle.
Just Darcelle. Just call me Darcelle.
And it's an autobiography, or was it?
Yes.
Okay. So you actually sat down and wrote your memoir.
We have the club, and I have 2 coffee table books now. I think 5 altogether.
Right.
But I'm co-writer. I didn't have time, but I lost my train of thought.
It just derailed.
Oh, yeah, just gone. You see what happened?
At the moment, senior moment. Stop me.
Yeah. I asked people where they're from. Texas. Please shake the hand of your governor.
Mm-hmm.
They get it.
Right.
You know what? You get it?
Do I get it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
His abortion thing is good.
Right.
His women's rights.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Gone.
Well, I just I try not to be political either.
That's as close as I get.
As close to getting political as you can.
Yeah, I don't get locally.
Right.
because I like them all. They all like me.
Oh, they loved you.
Yeah.
I don't know of anybody when I say Darcelle says anything bad about you ever. They always say that you're
Damn it,
wonderful.
I'd like a free past. Wouldn't that be neat?
Well, I'm just saying that, when I found out that we could have you on the show, I was just like, wow, this is going to be the big thing, because I've always seen you as someone who is, you're like a diplomat in this city. You're like royalty in this city.
Well,
Yeah.
keep going. Don't stop at royalty.
I won't stop. No, Darcelle's with us on Channel Weird. We'll be back with more. Don't go away.
Tis the season, and to celebrate, in the month of December, Ground Zero and Aftermath.fm are offering magnificent deals for listeners. Check it out. For the entire month of December, fans of Ground Zero can get an exclusive membership for only $49 for the year. And that's not all. Premium memberships are only $79 for the year. Need some stocking stuffers? Well, we have something for that too. A premium friends and family plan is just $129 for the year. All memberships include access to all of Ground Zero's archived shows. That's thousands of hours of Ground Zero on demand. You'll have complete access to the document libraries and research groups, and you'll have full participation in a monthly Zoom chat with the man himself, Clyde Lewis. So what are you waiting for? Come on over and take advantage of these great Christmas deals right now. Aftermath.fm.
AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Are you stressed? I mean, who isn't? Anxiety creeping in? No, not that. Is sleep hard to attain because your brain just won't slow down? We're living in crazy times, and the fear knob has been turned up. Okay, there's an answer. Take a big breath, exhale, and go log on to AncientLifeOil.com. CBD, broad and full spectrum, organic and non-GMO CBD for you to enjoy. Change your tune from fear to calm, from brain overload to clear thinking. 0.003 THC on full spectrum and 0% THC on broad spectrum. Competitive pricing with the best quality. Also know everything is going to get better. No worries, be happy. CBD can help calm so your nerves don't think they're a 6-string electric guitar. Enjoy life, smile, and log on to AncientLifeOil.com for great CBD. That's AncientLifeOil.com. You'll be glad you did.
It's all over the news, food shortages and scarcity in the supply chain, and the reality is nobody truly knows what might happen in the near future. Hi, I'm Clyde Lewis, and I want to let you know that it's a good idea to plan ahead so you aren't caught off guard. Nothing's more important than having enough food to eat, and we're here to help. We highly recommend My Patriot Supply, America's leading emergency preparedness company. They provide long-term emergency food that lasts up to 25 years in storage. When grocery stores run empty or disasters strike, their foods will be there when you need them most. Act now and secure at least a 4-week emergency food kit full of tasty meals that provide 2,000 calories a day. They have dozens of emergency food storage kits to choose from, along with a variety of other survival products. If the government tells you not to go out, you can have the peace of mind that comes from being prepared. After you order from My Patriot Supply, your food will arrive discreetly at your doorstep. Prepare today, because time is short. Go to preparewithgroundzero.com. That's preparewithgroundzero.com. And it's Channel Weird, back with Darcelle. And we're so glad to have Darcelle with us. I mean, I'm in awe. Thank you.
Well, don't be.
We can just watch now. You just perform now.
We just watch.
That's the last 10 minutes. We just watch you. No,
I do what I can do on stage.
Right. Yeah. What is the most memorable thing you can tell me about your experience? You've had so many, and I think people just want to hear your stories now of your long career.
I have one that it stands out. 2 stories. You have to put up with 2.
I'll put up with 2.
Okay, one of them is on stage on the runway, doing my best, telling stories, And the runway, we had 6 ladies on the end of it, and they were laughing. And I went over, and I like to, make fun of ladies' bahumbas, their boobies, and not make fun, but most men don't give them any compliments, really. And so oh my God, you have the most beautiful bahumbas. And she started laughing, and the ladies with her started crying. It was her first night out after a double mastectomy.
Oh.
And the ladies, and she just loved it. And the ladies they loved it too, but they were emotional about it. I got a call a few years ago, a lot of years ago, maybe 25 or 30 years ago, from a lady who said, Darcelle, I don't know if you know, but if you can answer this, but I found ladies' underwear in the glove compartment of my husband's car.
Right.
And he told him that it wasn't another woman, they were his. And I don't know what to do. I said, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what would work for you. Let him do it. Let him dress. Privacy. Don't, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, and you're not ruining your family or whatever, and just privacy, and let him do it, and you'll have that man forever. So
this reminds me.
She called me back.
Right.
She called me back. About 10 years later,
and
you may not remember me. I said, oh yes, I remember. She said, we have 3 children, and we're matching nightgowns. I loved it. There's
this, I guess this theory that some men like the feeling of silk. They like the feeling.
Sure, yes.
And I figured this out when I met Ed Wood's wife, Dolores Fuller. I met Dolores. I met her in Burbank, and I got to touch the cashmere sweater that Ed used to wear when he would direct movies. And it felt really nice. And I could see why he felt better when he wore that sweater.
Yeah.
So it was a great sweater.
Yeah.
And Dolores used to tell me all these stories about Ed. He served in the military. So did you.
Yes.
You were in Korea, right?
It was during the Korean conflict.
What did you do?
I was in the Army, drafted. I got married in May and got my papers, and by September, I was in boot camp.
Right.
In Camp San Luis Obispo, California.
Right.
And and I had a delightful time in the Army. But I have to tell you, so I was I was drafted during the Korean conflict, but I went to Livorno, Italy, because somebody had to protect the Italian Riviera.
So you protect the Riviera.
I patrolled.
What a place.
It was a wonderful duty.
Oh, I'm sure it was. That's a great duty to have.
Wonderful, yeah.
So you served in the Korean conflict in Italy. You were guarding the Riviera. Because, I was thinking one of the things about Ed Wood, that because Ed Wood, I'm a big fan of his, that he would actually wear a brassiere when he was fighting. He would wear a brassiere and panties in a fight. And I thought that was kind of peculiar, but yet that's what he did.
Under something?
Yeah, under his uniform.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Did you ever do that?
No.
No?
No.
Boy, have I got stories to tell about some people I know about how they would keep their little women's clothing wearing a secret.
My dear, I didn't even think about that.
You didn't.
But when I started thinking about it,
how did it start though? I mean, it's like, you got Uncle Milty. Milton Berle used to do drag, and Flip Wilson did drag, and
we had to do something to entertain our clientele.
Right.
And Roxy just came up to work at the Hyatt Hotel and dance. He was a dancer, and he worked in Vegas. So he said, let's do da-da-da. And we went down to San Francisco, and we saw Finocchio's famous Fremont Impersonator place. And so that was a natural thing. And nothing like that had been done in Portland. So I took off my suits from being attorneys and put on a dress.
And that's how it started.
I was 37.
And, I think a lot of people, that are critical, you need to understand too, that there was a moment in rock and roll, heavy metal rock and roll, where guys would be half drag. They'd get into like
something, a makeup or
makeup,
long
long nails, long hair. I remember I had the conversation with Dee Snider at one time, and he once told me, he says that's all his character is kind of like a drag queen, because the New York Dolls used to do it all the time.
But
And
not necessarily are they ever going to be a drag queen, and not necessarily are they gay.
But they're in drag.
But they're in their kind of drag.
Right.
Drag only means different than, like, if you come home from work and you put on Levi's and you had a suit all day, that's drag.
Right.
Suit Levi's are your drag.
So wearing a different uniform.
Wear them a different uniform.
Because I know that somebody was saying that there are women that are drag, that do drag as well.
Yeah, the kings, they're called.
Yeah,
kings.
The kings. And a lot of famous people that are women are look very much drag as well, like Dolly Parton, and I don't know if I can name others, but just the way they make.
Pardon me. Yes, drag kings do males clothes, males.
Oh, they dress as males.
Dress as males,
and they do well. Looking, they can do it well. I've never seen drag kings actually.
Drag kings, they do it well. Yeah.
Do you have them at the club?
Occasionally.
Well, really?
We have a Tuesday night is Catch a Rising Star, and their guest performers are all they're welcome. It's like an open mic on stage, and we have everybody from drag kings to guitar players to dancers to strippers.
Yeah, I was. Who was it I met?
So there's a place we have a place they can come, and we don't sort them out. If they're bad, they're bad. If they're good, they're good.
There's I remember I saw the movie Queen of the Desert. Thank you, Julie Newmar. And I met
Priscilla.
I met the woman. Yeah, Priscilla. I met the drag queen in Park City, and I had a chance to talk with her there. And it was an amazing experience hearing.
It must have been a hoot for her to do that.
Oh, it was. It was amazing, and she really loved the movie. But she was there to. There was some sort of award she was there to receive because the movie broke new ground, and it was just amazing to see the transformation. And I even had another friend of mine that one time I was at a bar, and he started talking to me, and I didn't know it was him. Because he did so well dressed in drag, and he started talking in a low voice, like, "Oh my God, man! Oh my God!" You know, it's like it's always a shock when you can see somebody that you know is very masculine who can become a woman just by wearing drag. It's amazing.
Well, we don't want to. I mean, I don't want to be a woman.
No, you don't.
I'm a character.
You are
a weird character.
Right, you're a weird character. I mean, believe me. I mean, like I said, I've seen Walt. He's very much a man.
Yeah,
very much.
I don't want to be, and I don't wear, silk underwear. And
do you mind that I talk about Walt? I mean, or your other persona,
Walt?
Yeah, Walt Cole. Or what's your first name?
That is Walter.
Yeah, Walter. Walter's your first name.
Walter Cole.
Yeah. I mean, I saw somebody do that one time, and I always think to myself that the show and the masquerade makes you Darcelle.
Yeah.
But then when you're Walter Cole, you're Walter Cole.
But yes, but I also spent years being very, very shy.
Right.
And very back of the bus kind of thing, going to school.
But this puts you front and center.
Well, but I had to take a hold of and when I was 18,
right,
I said, this is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You're never going to be anything at all if you hang back. And like in school, I would never, even if I knew the answer, I'd never put my hand up.
Right.
Because I didn't want to talk in the front of a group.
Right.
Well, I lost that because I put that away. And I said, no, I'm 18 years old and I'm going to do something and be somebody.
So what you're saying is that if you are one of those wallflowers, if you're one of those people at the back of the bus, find what makes you happy and just go for it.
Yeah. Being Walter made me happy.
Right.
And then I stepped into Darcelle, and now she's even happier.
Wow. And you hear that all the time about people that say, they make a decision that's going to free them. And, that's what I did when I was doing my show. I remember I was just really unhappy because I was working construction and everything. And
Yeah,
then I went to a therapist, and the therapist says, why don't you do what you loved when you were a kid?
That's right.
And it was always science fiction, comic books,
Yep.
hard rock records, and Star Wars. So it's Kiss, Star Wars, Pink Floyd, and all that stuff. And so when you listen to my show, you hear all those influences on me, because it was just my way of saying, yeah, I have it in me to do production. I have it in me to create these soundscapes and sounds and create that theater of the mind with like an Orson Welles.
Right.
And I always feel like when I'm on the air, I'm doing Orson Welles work. I'm kind of like filling that void. Yeah. And it does make me feel good. It liberates me.
High school?
When I was in high school, I did theater.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I played, I was in 10 Little Indians. I played Justice Wargrave. I was in Music Man. I played the mayor. So I had a lot of great roles when I was in high school. We had a best drama program, I think, because we had a sound stage.
Was it in Portland?
No, it was in Utah. Kearns, Utah. I used to
they're into theater.
Oh yeah, really into theater. But we had our high school, because every high school did a musical.
Yeah.
And there was Cottonwood High. They did a musical, and it was always the best musical. So we wanted to top them. And what we did is we had a stage that was like we could drive cars on that stage.
Yes.
We did when we did the Music Man, we had the Wells Fargo wagon.
Yeah.
Horses pulling it in because the stage was so big.
Yeah.
So we actually had horses on stage.
I know.
And so it was like, and we're high school kids making these big productions because our drama teacher was so over the top.
And that's theater, real theater,
right?
And it started everybody. I mean, you're still in theater?
Yeah, I am.
See?
I'm still doing theater,
Yeah.
And it's because I just wish. I think that everything that we do has to be done in a way that's interesting, and for me, it's outrageous, and that's why I kind of cater to the weird here in Oregon, and I think that's what enhances a lot of my creativity. Do you think Oregon is a place for that usually? Because it's always dark and dreary.
Oh, I know it is. You have to make up your own fun.
It's all inspiration and caffeine, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just all caffeinated weirdos in the city.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
We were saying today it happens to be raining outside and quite bad. And I said, well, we have to put up with it, Well,
see, that's what I was worried about, because the weather is so bad out today. I mean, it's like the wind is blowing, the rain is everywhere. It's like that, what they call that sideways rain we have here in Oregon. And I thought, I wonder if Darcelle's going to be able to brave the rain. Oh, and you did.
Please. When in show business, I'll do anything.
Really?
And we're only about 10 blocks from here anyhow.
Right.
So
the love of the theater keeps you motivated as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we go to all the Broadway shows at the Keller.
Hamilton's coming. You go see Hamilton?
I saw it when it was here last time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
That's a great show.
It is. It's overwhelming.
Yeah. I was very surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I saw it. I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it on the big screen at my friend's house.
The hype was more than you could handle. I mean, $5,000 a ticket on Broadway. And
really?
Yeah. And so nothing's worth that. But if you want to see it, you got the money, go for it.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah. I think the only musical I saw was Spam-A-Lot that I saw at the Keller.
Oh yeah.
It was the Monty Python thing. I went and I had tickets and I went, but I wanted to see the Book of Mormon. Didn't get a chance to see that.
I saw that 5 times already.
Isn't it great?
It is the hoot of the world, but the Mormons, no. It starts out that just at the beginning. It starts out with about 15 young men in white shirts and dark pants and ties, ringing doorbells. I thought I would cry, on a mission.
Right.
Ringing doorbells all over the stage.
Right.
Oh, it was fun, but it was the funniest thing in the world. But Mormons are not too happy with it, and I don't know why not. Because you know what? If you can't laugh at yourself,
well, some people can't laugh at themselves.
I know.
I served a mission, so I can laugh at myself.
Huh?
I'm not a Mormon, but I served a mission. I was a Mormon.
Did you go out and do a mission?
Mm-hmm.
So now, anytime anybody that's from Utah,
yeah,
and they come,
you're Mormon until proven otherwise. When you're in Utah, you realize.
Yeah, absolutely. I asked him.
People say, "Are you a Mormon?" Well, no, but I
even
was.
the women. I said, "Are you on a mission?" And then the audience laughs. Don't laugh. They'll be at your doorstep tomorrow.
So I was talking to you about my father, who was like in the Mormon. He was a Mormon
Yeah.
bishop, and he was at Gay Pride here in Oregon because he came to visit, and Gay Pride was going on. And some guy that was this preacher that was preaching hate on the street, my dad, walked up to a cop and said, "This man is ruining my Gay Pride experience, and I want it to stop." And I'm like, my dad going, "My God, man, you're conservative. Why would you say that?" Because he was enjoying himself. He was hanging out around the drag queens. He was having a good time.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it was a pleasure having you on today.
Is it over?
It is. It went too fast.
Oh, we got to do it again.
Oh, we will. I'm sure we will. Thank you so much, and keep doing what you're doing. Keep being young. It's
Thank
amazing.
you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Take
I
care.
will.
And that's Channel Weird, Darcelle, the one and only, the unique Queen Mother of Weird here in Portland, Oregon. We'll talk to you soon.